This WBTV high-definition program is sponsored by Time Warner Cable. WBTV News at 6 starts right now.
And we will have the best Democratic convention in the history of Democratic conventions in Charlotte.
We got it. Now at 6, one of the biggest announcements in the city's history. A culmination of years of building and growth, the 2012 Democratic National Convention.
And tonight, red and blue will make green whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. DNC 2012 means serious DNC dollars for our city. Hello, it's good to have you with us. I'm Maureen O'Boyle.
And I'm Paul Cameron. Welcome, everyone. The DNC decision makers have kept us on pins and needles. In fact, their choice is at least 5 weeks overdue. But months of lip service and glad-handing by our city leaders paid off. Geography didn't hurt. Charlotte beating out St. Louis, Cleveland, and Minneapolis for the 2012 Democratic National Convention. Tonight, we're covering this huge story from all angles. Our reporters are talking about the DNC decision, the big issue of security, and the economic impact. First, let's go to our Melissa Hankins, who's live in Uptown Charlotte. Melissa, we're talking about a full week in the national and even international spotlight.
That's right, Paul, and I don't even know if we can put a number on the exposure that'll get us, especially after having to endure some negative press from the national media having to do with our banks. You know, the fact is we stand to make a lot of money in 2012, but before we can make it, we have to raise it. And I want to show you a little exchange between our mayor and his right-hand man in all this, Duke Energy CEO Jim Rogers. Take a look.
Money is important. We'll get that money. The mayor has given me the assignment to get that money. Okay? And look how much bigger he is than me.
The pressure is on. Before we can make a mountain of money off the DNC, we have to raise a good deal of it on our own. Duke Energy CEO Jim Rogers is spearheading the effort on behalf of the city, and today we asked him about his progress.
I would say this. I think when Boston was selected, they had $0 committed. Denver had $1 million. I think one of the things that demonstrated our commitment to making this a great success was our ability to make commitments in terms of dollars that we would raise.
So how much have we banked?
We have commitments.
What does that mean?
We have commitments, and that's all I want to say at this moment.
So Rogers wouldn't give us a number on those pledges or what he's banked, but we do know he has to raise between $40 and $50 million. And a few minutes ago, I mentioned the banks and the role that they have played in our recent reputation. Well, they have a chance to redeem themselves now. Jim Rogers wants them to help fund the convention. We'll keep you posted. Live in Charlotte, Melissa Hankins, WBTV on your side.
Melissa, thank you. Now, here is your save the date. The first full week of September 2012 is the convention, when Democrats will nominate President Obama for a second term.
It took a bipartisan effort to bring the DNC to Charlotte, but make no mistake about it, North Carolina Republicans aren't going soft this afternoon. They released this video response.
So we welcome the Democrats to Charlotte. And when the nation looks to North Carolina in 2012, Republicans will unite and deliver the real change North Carolinians are looking for.
And in case you're curious, the 2012 Republican National Convention is in Tampa, Florida. Expect a serious security presence come convention time. Police dogs everywhere, mirrors looking under cars, long lines, plenty of searches, and police on just about every street corner. It will not be cheap. WBTV's Tom Rousey continuing our coverage now. And Tom, the Democratic Party and the feds are picking up a lot of this tab, correct?
That is correct, Maureen. It's going to be a big tab, tens of millions of dollars. Of course, when you think about security, you think preventing terrorism, and you would think Uptown would be the main concern for that, and it is. But I'm told by an expert they're also going to have to be watching things like light rail, how people are going to be getting into Uptown to make sure that no terrorists or anybody with bad design strikes there. That's just one of a host of issues they're going to be dealing with for this convention.
This is a huge endeavor.
UNC Charlotte criminal justice professor Dr. Vivian Lord says when you think security for the convention, terrorism may pop into your head first, but cops will also have to deal with simpler things like getting traffic into Uptown.
Where will they be parking people? How will they get people from one area to the other?
CMPD Chief Rodney Monroe tells WBTV he started talking to the feds today about security.
It's going to take us about 18 months to pull it all together, but it's not something that we don't believe that we'll be able to do and do very successfully.
This is video from when Denver hosted the convention 2.5 years ago.
You want your city to represent well and do a good job, and because you're on a national stage, and so you don't want anything to go wrong.
Sonny Jackson with Denver Police says his city couldn't have done this alone. Not only was Denver swarming with federal authorities like the Secret Service, but other towns sent help too.
Don't fool yourself thinking it's just one city is going to take this whole thing on. I mean, we had to bring in officers from our neighboring community, whether it be their SWAT team, whether it be their dogs, whether it be just, their troops on the ground.
I would even imagine Cabarrus County, Union County, some of these areas.
And one security issue the Democratic convention will have in 12 that the Republican one won't, the sitting president will be here.
Oh, that's huge. Absolutely. And I'm sure not only the sitting president, but I'm sure the vice president will be here, cabinet members and so forth.
Hey, one good thing for the CMPD, they're going to be getting probably tens of millions from the feds to buy high-tech stuff like more security cameras like this one and other things as well. And after the convention is over, they'll be able to keep that high-tech equipment. Live just outside Uptown Charlotte in the South End, I'm Tom Rousey, WBTV, on your side.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a benefit there, Tom. And Denver warned CMPD will also have to make sure it still makes regular patrols. In the rest of Charlotte, they say the department will have to pay a lot of overtime to get everything done.
Well, Charlotte businesses are going to clean up on the convention. We're talking about a major financial windfall. Take the last one, the 2008 DNC in Denver. The economic impact was $160 million. Could be even higher here in Charlotte. And the convention brought 50,000 additional bodies to the city. WBTV Steve Crump continues our coverage of the DNC decision. Steve, we've seen big money events, of course, here in Charlotte before, but nothing quite this scope.
No, we have not seen anything of this scope, Paul. And you talk about a big windfall in terms of the folks that are involved in the hospitality business. Well, a lot of the people that we talk to, they're counting the dollars before this convention ever comes to town. The last time Charlotte hosted an event that attracted tens of thousands of people to Center City was just 4 weeks ago. First night rang in the new year and was the brainchild of Center City partners Robert Crumbine, who's scratching his head over DNC special events.
I know the wheels are already turning in our staff trying to think about what can we do, how are we going to help. We've got a lot of assets here that we want to make use of.
Crumbine has been behind events like Speed Street that closes off part of the city. But with so many heavy hitters coming to town, expect a strong sales pitch.
We're selling Charlotte as just an incredible location, a great place to live.
Persuading visitors will also come from some of those doing the driving.
We like the conventions. We're excited when they come to town. They mean a lot of business for us.
Business that has some searching for moments of good taste.
The conventioneers are going to be looking for things to do. They're going to be going all night, from parties to events to meetings. So we got to extend our hours. I'm sure we will.
And with a track record of successful promotions, what special event will Crumbine think of? He's not saying just yet, but he's smart enough to understand this moment.
I think it is a game changer. It completely takes us into a whole new realm.
And when you go to the DNC website, they're already billing Charlotte as, quote, this convention being called the People's Convention, and already one local business getting in on the act. We got an email from the Ritz-Carlton in Center City. They are doing a convention special on the weekends between now and next year's convention, $269 per night per couple. They are calling it the Red, White, Blue, and Green Special. Live tonight from West Charlotte, Steve Crump, WBTV on your side.
Steve, you and I have covered conventions, and I think you'll agree that no matter which party, those conventioneers like to spend money when they get to a town.
Green is what matters, Paul.
It sure does. And for continuing coverage of the DNC 2012 decision, we want you to join us at 7 o'clock for prime time and visit our website, WBTV.com. There you'll find exclusive videos and interviews, as well as in-depth reports on the convention coming to Charlotte.
Look at these blizzard conditions in the Midwest. Ice and blowing snow. They've shut down highways and airports from Texas all the way to Rhode Island. This storm is a massive one with a reach reach of more than 2,000 miles.
Indeed. The ice that's already on the ground could be followed by up to 2 feet of snow. Fingers crossed. It looks like we may be in the clear. Here's Eric Thomas.
Yeah, Paul, we're not going to miss the storm, but we're just going to miss the wintry part of it. But we are going to get some heavier rain around here. And in fact, let's look at those headlines. We'll try to sum things up for you. Again, a little change from yesterday in the big picture. We still have this major winter storm that's going to be a paralyzing event for at least another day, mainly areas to the north of the Carolinas with those airport delays. And for us, the rain is moving in, and it's moving in right now this evening. So that's what you're going to have to contend with. But again, the country basically blanketed with those blizzard warnings, the winter storm warnings, and even the freezing rain warnings. There you see in the Northeast right now, not too much happening yet, but it is coming. Look at the size of that storm with the snow, and yep, even for our part, some heavier rain coming our way. So that's what we're lining up right now. We'll talk more about this, how it's going to affect the rest of your evening, and your 7-day first alert forecast all coming up shortly.
Up next at 6. The shareholders lost millions in 2010, but the bank bigwigs will not.
Massive bonuses for the top 4 leaders at Charlotte's biggest bank.
Some property owners finding their way around a city ordinance. All you need is plywood and some black paint.
I'm Molly Grantham. Coming up tonight, all new at 11 o'clock. The chairman of the Democratic National Committee on his way to Charlotte right now. We're meeting former Virginia Governor Tim Kaine at the airport to find out what the Queen City must do to prepare for the historic 2012 DNC convention. Plus, we'll have all your breaking news coming up on WBTV News at 11 o'clock.